Hey there, speech class. I hope you are having a great day. Today it is time to talk about our index cards. So we've already created our sentence outlines, and now from those sentence outlines, we need to move in to creating these index cards. Some of you might be wondering why it's necessary to create index cards after you've already typed a huge sentence outline. And the reason for that is because if you go up to the podium with a typed sheet of paper, you will end up using that paper and reading that paper, and that does not make a good speech. So what we do as good speakers is we use the sentence outline and we highlight key points on the front of index cards to use while we're speaking. And then from there, we use our sentence outline to practice multiple times. And then after 5 or 6 or 7 practices, we move on to simply practicing with our index cards. Then we practice with our index cards multiple times. And by the time our speech day rolls around, we are ready to crush it. So I want to take you through this document in your Schoology course for our class that tells you how to create these correctly, because believe it or not, there actually is a way that's most effective. So if you go into our speech class folder, you will click on speech and then you will click on demonstration speech. From demonstration speech, you'll click on the folder that says index cards. And in the index card folder, there will be 2 documents, how to write your note cards, and then the other document is going to be sample note cards. And you should have these pulled up on your computer, checking them regularly as you're creating your note cards to make sure that you are doing it the best way you can. So I'm going to take you through the how to write your note cards document. So once you pull it up, it's going to look like this. And the very first line says for your index cards, you will use key ideas or main points. And this is important because in some cases on these cards, you will only use keywords, but in other areas, you will use complete sentences. And in this document here, I guide you through each part of your sentence outline and tell you how to do it. Hang on one second. Hey, Courtney, this is for you. All right, I'm back, speech class, sorry. So this first paragraph, you should read this on your own time, but I'm going to go down to how to write your cards effectively, and we're going to start with the introduction. So you'll notice that the very first bullet talks about your attention grabber, and that is because each bullet takes you through the introduction of your sentence outline exactly in the same order as the sentence outline. So the first thing it says is that you want to use keywords for your attention grabber. And what that means is that you're not going to write out your attention grabber in full because you won't need to. You created it. All you have to do is use 2 or 3 keywords to jog your memory when you get up to the podium or you get up to your table if it's a demonstration speech. And you just need those 2 or 3 words to tell your story or say your thing, whatever it is. If you're using a quote or a statistic, something that needs to be exact, you can write that down. The reason why we really only like keywords for your attention grabber is because this is one of the most important places to use eye contact, this introduction of your speech. If you're looking down as you begin your speech, your audience will not be engaged with you as a speaker. It's really important that you project confidence, you look at your audience, and you actually look at all areas of your audience. So keywords for the attention grabber. Then the second bullet moves on to your credibility and tie to audience. You'll also only use keywords here. Now you'll notice that the next bullet tells you to write out your thesis and preview of points in full. So for this, you will use complete sentences exactly as you have it on your sentence outline. The reason this is so critical is because this is really the most important part of your introduction. This is the part of your introduction that outlines your entire speech for the class. It sets a purpose and it helps them to follow along. If the audience isn't sure where you're going in the introduction, they're left feeling perplexed for the entire speech, and that is not something we want to do. So you want to say that in full. You will have practiced so much that you won't necessarily need to use it, but if you find that you get up to the podium and you're feeling a little nervous, it is there for you to use should you need to. And then the last bold-faced bullet tells you that you'll have 1 or 2 cards for your introduction. So each part of the speech has a card limit. So for this one, you'll probably end up having, maybe 1.5 or so, and that's fine. Then you'll start a new index card for the body of your speech. And for the body, we use key points all around except for our topic sentences, which is the first bullet. Your topic sentence is going to be the first thing you say for each main point of your speech. So if you're looking at your sentence outline, your topic sentences should be Roman numeral number 1, Roman numeral number 2, Roman numeral number 3, and in some cases, Roman numeral number 4. So for the start of your body, you might write body, main point 1, and then you'll write out that topic sentence, and then you'll use keywords and supporting points for all of the additional information. If you're doing a food item for your demonstration speech, you can write out the measurements. You should do that because measurements need to be exact. Sometimes we get nervous and we get confused, and we want to have those things there. So it says you'll have 3 to 8 index cards for your body. For your demonstration speech, you're probably only going to have 3 to 5. The next item is listed as transitions. And you do not put all of your transitions on one note card. You'll simply write the transitions after each main point where they fall in your speech. So if I'm doing main point 1, my transition that we use to go from main point 1 to main point 2 will go at the bottom of that main point 1 note card. And when I say that you'll highlight or underline them in the same color, there's more information on that on the back of this sheet because we end up color coding our index cards. Once you move on from your body, you'll go to the conclusion and you will use keywords for this entire section unless you're using a quote or a statistic. And you'll have 1 to 2 index cards for your conclusion. If this all sounds confusing, it is when I'm talking about it on this audio recording, but when you have your sentence outline open on your Chromebook, you have this document in front of you and your index cards. You can simply follow it, starting with the introduction and moving to the conclusion, and I think it will be pretty clear. Before you go on, the second page of this document is critical. There are 8 other things to do, and that does not mean that these other things are not important. This is the way you set up your index cards. So I almost wish I would have made this first, but I didn't. First and foremost, you have to number your index cards, and that is because you will inevitably drop them on your way to the podium. I have seen it happen more times than I can count. And when you're already feeling a little nervous or a little anxious, it's really nice if they're easily numbered and you're ready to go. Then items 2, 3, 4, and 5 talk about color coding. You can read those for yourselves. You can borrow my highlighters in the corner of the room, or you can use your own. Some people choose to write in different color pens instead of highlighting. That is all fine, but you do need color coding. This is part of your grade. Do not write on the back of the cards, period. You are writing on the front only, and it's a good idea to space between sections. So for example, I might write keywords for my attention grabber, then I'll do a single space on the index cards, and then I'll move into the credibility, and I'll do spaces after each section. So make sure that you read all 8 of those and that you understand what you need to do before you start writing. Delivery cues are really nice things that move us from good speakers to great speakers. So as you practice your speech, you have to practice your speech multiple times. As you practice, you'll start to notice areas where you speed up. You'll start to notice words that you might come across that you kind of have a tough time saying. On your index cards, you're going to write down cues, when you need to slow down, when you should pause, when you should kind of hang on if you're asking a question, give your audience an opportunity to respond. All of those things are really important. So as you move forward with your practice, I want you to add in those delivery cues on your cards. Any other questions? I'm more than happy to answer for you in class. Just make sure that you have your Chromebook with your sentence outline, this handout, your blank index cards. And one more thing I forgot to mention, and then I'm finished, I promise. If you go to the index cards section, you'll see that I've uploaded sample speech index cards. This was on a demonstration speech topic. I think it was how to make Play-Doh. And the pictures start with the introduction, and then each of the body points, and then the conclusion is on the final card. So you should certainly look at those to help you as you move forward. Have a great day.